Now, here's a sticky dilemma for you to tackle. Streets of Rage 2 is the best ever belt-scrolling beat-em-up, and yet Streets of Rage 4 is also the best ever belt-scrolling beat-em-up. It's an unsolvable symmetry of superlatives, so we need you to crown the winner, because in this vid we're going to tackle the impossible. Put two unbeatables head-to-head and let them duke it out until someone wins. So come cheer for your favourite, and jeer at our suggestions, as we pit classic against modern, the OG versus the OP, Streets of Rage 2 versus Streets of Rage 4, in the one, the only, belt-scrolling beat-em-up showdown!
Hello and welcome to the showdown. Now, picture the scene. You're out on a hot date with a lucky lady who you think may be the one. The wine has been flowing, the laughs have been flowing. You've pulled out all of your best one-liners, and then it happens. You run into a group of friends and they pose the question, which one is better, Streets of Rage 2 or Streets of Rage 4? And you see from the look in your lady's eyes that this is the clincher. Get it wrong, and you're going home alone, bub, to cry into your duvet while you watch reruns of Stephen Mulhern on Celebrity Catchphrase. Get it right, and you're going home for Shag City, baby. Well, worry not, dear gamers and future daters, because in the showdown we'll have the answer for you, because we're going to pit these two behemoths against each other and answer that fateful question of which is best. Now, Mr. Dibs Ahoy, which one have you got after the fateful coin toss?
Well, I got the big one. It's the big SOR4, the one that brought it all back. Streets of Rage 4, the game we never thought we were going to get, but we're finally blessed to have it come into reality. So that's the one I'm going for.
I like it.
What about you? What are you up for?
Well, that puts me on...
Can we guess?
You can guess. It puts me on Streets of Rage 2 on the Mega Drive / Genesis. Now, let's explain how this bad boy works. If you've not seen one of these before, there will be 5 rounds. We've picked 5 categories, and we'll take turns pitching each of these categories and putting an argument forwards for our chosen game. And at the end of it, there can be only one winner. There will be only one winner, and you will have the answer to unlock the love. Let's get started. Mr. Dibs Ahoy, you're up first, my friend. What have you got?
Okay, let's go in with a strong category, combos, and this is a big one for Streets of Rage 4 because I feel like they took the foundations of the Streets of Rage series and really cranked it up to 11, as we like to say here on GFA. Basically, there's combos coming out of this thing's ears. It's like, you know, the ground stuff. It's like they've got launches now. You've got aerial juggles and all this kind of stuff. You can pull off super moves in the air. And they took a big influence from the Street Fighter 4 series as well. And they put in the star moves, which is kind of the equivalent of the ultras, and that can really do some big damage and, you know, just make some fantastic kind of flashy looking combos all over the screen. And yeah, it's a big one for Streets of Rage 4, and they really did a good job on it, I reckon. So yeah, that's my first play. So what you got for me? What you got?
It's a strong play, dude. Like Axel in an alleyway being ticked off by some goons. You really landed your punches. I felt that one, but listen, I've got some moves of my own, and I got some words for you which I'm going to use in lieu of moves. Crisp, crunchy, satisfying, perfectly weighted. If you recognise these words, then you'll recognise Streets of Rage 2, my friend, because that game is just refined. There are combos just enough. There's just enough combos in there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you can't string together endless rounds of moves, but dude, if you're in a street fight, down in an alley, and a dude's coming at you with a big pipe, a metal pipe, I'm not being rude, don't be smutty, don't go there, and he's coming at you with a big pipe, you're not landing 20 moves on that dude. You'd be lucky if you got one glancing punch in the side of his ear and then someone slapped you a little bit. That's how a fight goes down. Streets of Rage 2 walks that perfect balance between crunchy, satisfying combinations of moves and gritty realism. And that's the way I like my games. I don't want them silly. I want them crunchy. You feeling me? What are you giving me?
Well, you argue some good points. I'll have to give you, I reckon, Streets of Rage 2, yeah, I'd give that an 8 because it is up there with some incredible combos, and it's like, you know, stuff that we didn't even realize at the time, like the potential, the other characters like Max and Skate that we didn't really play. You could do some great stuff with those guys. So yeah, I've got to give you an 8 for that one. So what about Streets of Rage 4? What you got for me?
Well, thanks for the 8, and I gotta admit, like the game, you were slick, you were fluid, and you hit me hard in the jugular. Whoa, easy. I'm going to give you a well-deserved 9.
Ah, well, you can't say fairer than that. So, I agree. So where are we going next? Category 2, what we got?
I'm going to go for one of my favourite things about my game, about both the games in fairness, and that's the look and feel. Because if there's one thing that Streets of Rage 2 did, it made the 90s come home in game form. You know, it was just perfectly using everything the Mega Drive had to offer. It was at that juncture between the moody, gritty palettes of the early Mega Drive years and the clever use of the palette that they kind of developed later on. It came with its own sense of this city, of this grimy underbelly, and it used like the colours and the look and the feel of that perfectly. The character sprites, the enemy sprites, all of the graphics that are in there just look gorgeous, and the whole thing just hung together to make a highly polished and seminal moment in gaming kind of look and feel. This was something you were wowed by. This was something that set the Mega Drive apart. This was something that honestly you could put against the arcades of the day and it would be taking them toe to toe. They just landed the perfect design, the perfect look, the perfect feel. It is the game that shows you how a belt scroller should be. Look and feel. Look at me, feel me, love it. What do you got for me?
Feel me now.
Feel me now.
So, Streets of Rage 4. Well, for a start, it hasn't got any hindrances technology-wise, I suppose. So, the big chunky pixels of the 16-bit era, who needs them anymore? What are you, like 100 or something? It's like, you know, this is perfectly clear. Like, it's hand-drawn looking. It's slick. There's so much attention to detail. We're not held back by tiles and stuff like that on some like puny 16 meg cards. It's like, you know, they can splash that memory all over the show and just make this thing look as perfect as they wanted to. And you know, while it didn't like, you know, fire everyone up immediately when it was first showed off, I actually remember some detractors kind of like moaning about it, but it came good in the end, and it's a strong category. It looks great all the way through, very detailed, very slick animation, and it's a top one for Streets of Rage 4 as well, I reckon. So, with all that being said, what you got for me?
Well, I mean, you're right. It's gorgeous. There's no denying it. There's loads of effort that's gone into it. It really does stand out. But there's just something about it where, I don't know, because they don't have the constraints, they've just got all the options. They splash the cash a bit too much. You know, you don't feel their soul come across as much as you do in Streets of Rage 2, in my opinion. And although it's pretty, it's almost too pretty. It's like a little bit too slick, a little bit too polished. It doesn't have kind of the grit and the feel of the game. And all that's adding up to me giving you, I'm really sorry, but it's an 8. What about, I know, what you got for me, my friend?
Well, I gotta say, I do love that Streets of Rage 2 look. It's classic, it's just, you know, it's perfect. Like you were saying, it brought the arcades so close to being like home. It's a 9. It's a 9. It's still mind-blowing. Still mind-blowing to me, and I love it. It's just perfect in every way.
That's tasty. And that puts us in a 1-all kind of position. So let's go into round 3. Let's go into round 3.
Oh my goodness.
And it's back over to you, my man. What you got?
Oh, it is, isn't it? Okay, let's go for a strong category here for Streets of Rage 4. Extras. Because this bad boy is absolutely chock full of them. I mean, it's like, you know, you want a story mode, you got it. You want arcade, stage select, boss rush, battle mode, training, you even got practice in there. And that's not even including the online play function as well, like where you could have multiple players. It's like, you know, you can have local 4-player and all this stuff. It's absolutely chock full with everything, and you know, extra characters that you unlock as the game progresses. Just so many things, and it's like, and that's not even counting like the hidden extras as well. So you know, you go and hit the arcade machine with that little taser thingy, you get taken back to Streets of Rage 2 world. I don't even need Streets of Rage 2 to play Streets of Rage 2. It's in there. That's my pitch. Let's see what you got here then.
Dang, that's a good pitch. And you know, in these showdowns, there's always a round where you kind of think, shiznit. So I'm going to make a good show of it. Let's not back off too early. You do make a good case, though, and I've got to say, I was pretty wowed by Streets of Rage 4. And so I'm going to be honest about how I feel about Streets of Rage 2. it is slightly more limited on the options. Don't forget what they were playing with here. They've only got those 16 megs. They can't be slamming in loads of extra characters and huge palettes and huge extra this and huge extra that. They've only got this much. And with that, they did what they could. There's cheats. There's, what is there, level select. There's extra hidden lives in a proper like treasure hunting mode-y, not a kind of well, here's loads of extra bonuses that just lying around on the floor for you to collect, like a certain Streets of Rage 4 might delay it. You know, this bad boy makes you work for your extra lives. And, you know, you've got 2-player battle. You can select the same character. That was big back in the 90s. I mean, not every game would let you do that. And, I'm going to admit, I'm kind of running out of steam here, but I'm going to say 2 words to finish it off. Mania mode, huh? I'll leave you with that thought and invite you to go easy on me, take sympathy, and give me a score.
Well, I will give you a score, but at the end of the day, you can't take the heat. Stay out of the kitchen, because you're getting a 6 for this bad boy. I mean, it has got like stuff in there, but it ain't not a patch on Streets of Rage 4. So, yeah, 6 for that one. So what you got for 4 then?
Listen, I may have been on a bit of a hiding to nothing with that sucker, because Streets of Rage 4, one of the things it really lands very well is those extras. And I just kept having moments playing that sucker where I'd be like, oh, you're giving me the original Streets of Rage sprites. Oh, you're giving me the original Streets of Rage 2 sprites. Oh, thank you very much. It's a giver of a game. It's generous. And your little speech kind of captured that very well. And I'm going to give you a 9. Which kind of is a win for you, I do believe.
So, another win for Streets of Rage 4. Okay, so it's 2-1 to me. So, going into the 4th category, what have we got?
Well, I've got to pick one that I'm feeling pretty saucy about, I'm not going to lie to you. And that's impact on the genre. Because you think belt scroller, you think Streets of Rage 2. You think best belt scroller, you think Streets of Rage 2. You think game that set the standard for all belt scrollers, past, future, present, this dimension, that dimension, you're thinking Streets of Rage 2. It just doesn't get any bigger than this game. There are kids these days that haven't heard of a single Mega Drive game except Streets of Rage 2. There are people that don't know any soundtrack of a game except Streets of Rage 2. And there are developers making games for modern consoles who haven't got any ideas of their own, who decide that they're going to have to rehash something from the past, and what do they look at but Streets of Rage 2. That's right, you can't argue that Streets of Rage 4 is more impactful on the genre when it's ripping off my bad boy of a game. This was a beaut. It set standards in gameplay, it set standards in soundtrack. Yeah, it's still as old as Giants, but you've got to remember, it beat those Giants. It was better than everything out there. Your Double Dragons, your Final Fights, your Turtles, your original Streets of Rage. This is the defining game of the genre, and so its impact cannot be beaten. Can it, Mr. Dibs the High? What you got for me, son?
You argue a fine point there, but Streets of Rage 4, let me tell you one thing. It put right what once went wrong. Whereas the genre dropped off massively. What was the game that brought it all back? Streets of Rage 4. And from there you got the River City Girls, Shredder's Revenge, everyone loves that, Double Dragon 4, Fire and Rage Final Vendetta, Mayhem Brawler, which I've never even played, but I'm gonna, because it looks really like Streets of Rage 4. It looks very cool. It spearheaded the return of this classic genre, and you know, everything's all the better because of it. It's like, you know, never again will we lose these games to time. I think they're a stay of this time, and I think the one that led the charge there is Streets of Rage 4. That's what I'm saying. So, what do you reckon about that one then?
Well, that was good. Surprisingly good. I mean, I don't want to say you've got no debating skills, but that was surprisingly good, and you've sort of pulled me over to the dark side a little bit, but not a lot. Because at the end of the day, there is one reason why the genre has come back with Streets of Rage 4, and that's still because of Streets of Rage 2. If that hadn't laid such strong foundations, this bad boy wouldn't be building on anything. But it landed a few things, so I'm going to cut the difference, and I'm going to give you a 7. Fair?
Fair, that's fair.
What are you hitting me with?
I mean, it's hard to deny the impact of Streets of Rage 2, is it? It's like, it's got to be higher than a 7, so I'm going to give you an 8. Ooh. I think that's Yeah, I mean, like you say, it didn't invent the genre. It just was the best of it, really, wasn't it? So, yeah, I think 8 would be a fair score for that one.
Snuck in there. Well, that takes it very excitingly. Not at all planned. Not at all predisposed. It takes it to a very tense 2-2 going into the final round. Now, I maybe might set myself up for failure here because I'm going to let you choose that final round, Mr. Dibs Ahoy. What's it going to be?
Okay, category 5, and you can't have Streets of Rage if you haven't got some of the most epic music you've ever heard. And Streets of Rage 4 is no different. It brings a lot to the table here. You want Yuzo Koshiro? He's in there. He's created some bangers. You know, he can't take the full weight this time. I mean, like, you know, time's getting on a bit. So he brings in Olivia de Riviere of Assassin's Creed fame. You got Motohiro Kawashima of Streets of Rage 2 and 3, and a real legend from Street Fighter 2, Yoko Shimomura, who came up with those amazing tunes that have just like lasted the test of time. She's put her hand to this game, and it's like the soundtrack is just full of bangers. I mean, like, I got my copy of it from Limited Run Games, and they kind of like only expected them to be the only ones who are making a physical version of it. So what they did is they were very nice, and they made an actual soundtrack to give us who purchased it as a little bonus incentive there for not cancelling our reservations, and I was very appreciative of it. So yeah, it's a real good soundtrack. It's like very, very good. But yeah, so let's go for it. Streets of Rage 2, let me have it. Go on.
That was very confidently delivered, and I appreciate you putting the effort in, but do I even need to say any words? We're talking Streets of Rage 2, we're talking soundtrack. I mean, these two things are epoch defining, they're universe defining. They literally set the standard for not only this type of game, but all games. And it's interesting you mentioned old Yoko there, because you've only really got one other big competitor, and that's Street Fighter 2. And you look at Street Fighter 2, Streets of Rage 2, Streets of Rage 4, and man, that's a solid soundtrack. You know, it's great, it's wonderful, I really enjoy it, but I'm also walking away from it not really humming it. It's not staying in my head, it doesn't feel like it's a classic for all time. Whereas Streets of Rage 2, oh my god, it totally is. I mean, how many more times can we rave about the game, but every track's pinpoint, the style is pinpoint, it's matched to the levels perfectly, like the beat is there, the groove is there, the zeitgeist there, you're transported back to the 90s, but yet it still sounds so incredibly fresh, it's on point, it makes the Mega Drive sing, it's got the hooks, it's got the beats, it's got the rhythm, it's got the melody. This is just the defining soundtrack of our lives, of our generation, of like Mega Drive gaming, of all gaming. I mean, I feel like I'm going on and on, but all of these are deserved words. This is just an absolute category winner. So what you got for me, big boy? Lay it on me, come on.
You got me here, haven't you? It's got to be a 10. I mean, there is literally no way you could not give that soundtrack any less than that. It is the soundtrack of video games. It is the anthem of games. Yeah, it's a 10. It's a 10. But no. Okay, be gentle here then. Be gentle. What you got for Streets of Rage 4?
Well, let's keep the tension going, because all the things I may have said, there's no denying that Streets of Rage 4 is still an absolutely stellar soundtrack with an absolutely stellar cast of composers that have worked on it. It gels beautifully. It is a great piece of game music, but it's not an all-time classic. And I'm afraid, my friend, it's an 8 out of 10.
All in at the final hurdle.
Got you in the melodies.
Streets of Rage 2 takes it. 3-2. Oh man, it was close.
It was close.
A tight fought battle. It was a tight fought battle.
And you gotta say that going into this, the two of us, we battled with ourselves. We didn't know which way this was gonna go, because these are two absolutely stonking games. I mean, literally, last couple of weeks I've been playing both of them, and I will flip to one or the other and say which is the best, because they've both got such peaks, such highs. They're just both classics, and you should get both of them if you haven't already.
You really should, yeah. I mean, I never thought that there would be any belt scroller, as we call them, or as we've learned, that could even hold a candle anywhere close to Streets of Rage 2. But Streets of Rage 4 was a very, very, very pleasant surprise at how good it was.
Yeah,
so,
a massive
definitely play it. Amazing.
And it gives you the answer. So don't forget, if you're on a hot date and the love of your life looks you in the eye and asks you which of the Streets of Rage games is the best, just tell her it's Streets of Rage 3. No, I'm joking, it's Streets of Rage 2, obviously it is. So, but that's our opinion. Or that's the opinion of Fate, of the game, of the way we've played it. What's yours? What did we get wrong? What genres did we leave out? What questions did we miss out? What things would have set your loves heart racing if you'd have whispered those sweet nothings in her ear that we should have covered? And of course, which game should we pitch into the showdown cauldron in the future? Because these battles are important. They're life-defining, they're era-defining, and of course, they're a whole lot of fun to put together as well. So we'd value your suggestions, whack them in the comments, whack them on the socials, just generally get in touch. And I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Mr. Dibs Ahoy, take us to the close.
Well, as always, take it easy, gaming guys and girls, and keep it locked here on Gaming for Ages for more retro goodness soon. Layers!